All right, so in today's video, I'm gonna be talking to you guys a little bit about how I healed my dog, my Border Collie, her foot, how I was able to heal her foot in just a little under a week. So just a little backstory. This is Raina, she's a Border Collie. I've had her for about 1.5 years now, and she's done really good all of her life. She hasn't shown any problems with her wrist for most of her life. But within like the last 2-ish months, I would say, she started showing signs of her wrist really bothering her. She would limp a lot whenever we would be outside, or just honestly, sometimes, some days she would wake up with a limp in her wrist, and it was always that one wrist that just one day randomly just started bothering her. And so I give it a little bit of time. I was hoping, you know, maybe she just needs to rest a little bit, give it a little bit of time, but it never got any better at all. So she would constantly be, whenever she would even be just sitting down or even playing or whatever, she constantly would just hold her wrist kind of limp like this. And also whenever she would run or just simply be walking, she would have kind of a limp to her with her walk on her wrist specifically. Got to the point where I was just like, all right, I'm gonna try this peptide out on her. And this peptide I'm gonna talk to you guys about, super researched, very studied. A lot of vets themselves actually will use this for treatment on dogs for injuries and stuff like that. There's a ton of research out there of using this peptide in humans, dogs, whatever the case may be. It's a very studied and researched peptide. Although, keep in mind, it isn't FDA approved just yet. But I will say for about 2 to 3 months, her paw was bothering her for pretty bad, and it was obvious. So, and within just about a week, her paw was healed. I'm not gonna say it's 100%, but from day one, when we first started using this peptide, I would say it's about 80 to 90% better. And keep in mind, that is just within a week. So BPC 157, it's a peptide this is what I've been using on her. It stands for Body Protective Compound. This peptide is derived from human gastric juice. And the benefits that come with using this peptide include tissue healing, inflammation and pain reduction, gut health, accelerated repair, enhanced tissue quality, inflammation reduction, pain relief. So it's super good for healing injuries, helping with pain. Seen it work with tendons, ligaments, bones, muscle. There is a large variety of injuries and pains that I've seen this peptide help many people with. Also gave this peptide to my brother here a while back. He ended up hurting his knee, and he used it on his knee, and he ended up loving it. It helped him out so much. Really, something needed to be done about my dog's paw, and I'm so glad that I took this route because it literally fixed it. She plays so much better. She seems like it doesn't even bother her at all anymore. But like I said, there's a ton of research out there of this peptide being used for dogs, humans, for injuries and certain types of pain. As far as how I used it for my dog, I used an insulin syringe, and I would inject it directly into her wrist. I would pinch a little bit of fat and just put it right into her wrist, because with this peptide, if you are able to inject, and it's not like a risky site to inject near the injury, if you're able to inject near the injury or wherever you're finding pain, if you're able to inject close to that, a lot of people will say that it works a lot better that way. But even if you aren't able to inject it close to the site of injury, just simply injecting it anywhere that you're able to, it'll still work. But I wanted to maximize the benefits as best as possible, so that's what I did. I put it into my dog's wrist. And as you can see in these videos, man, from compared to day one to most recent, it's literally like a night and day difference. She's playing so much better. Her paw looks like it's doing so much better. She hardly ever shows any signs of her paw bothering her. Like I said, this is literally just within 7 days of doing this treatment. And as far as dosing with her, I wanted to do the least amount possible at first and stick with that and just see how she does. So what I did was about 75 to 100 micrograms per day. Seemed to do the trick for her. Now, every dog is going to be different, just like every human is different when using this peptide. And this is me just telling you guys what I did. I'm not telling you guys to go and do this. This is just simply me telling you what I did, and you guys do with that information what you want. Now, this isn't something that you just use for dogs. Humans use this as well. Humans and a lot of people will use it on their dogs as well because it works so well and it's got a really good safety profile. If you look into the research of BPC 157, there is a lot of in-depth research, studies and trials of people using this on humans and dogs, and even other animals. This is honestly one of my favorite peptides, and just because of how well it works and what it does and the safety profile that comes with it. Especially after it literally making my dog's wrist up to 80 to 90% better. This stuff really is like magic. Now, as far as where I got my stuff from, I'll be in the link tree in my bio. The exact peptide that I use to heal my dog's wrist, I highly recommend it if you guys are in the same situation and you all have a dog that has an injury that needs healed.